Good morning. Let me fix this. That's a little better. Let me get this fixed over here. That's better. How's everybody this morning? Let me take a drink. Well, this is an exciting day. Well, I don't know how exciting it is, but it is exciting. 55 years ago today, right now, the wedding march was playing. 55 years. Crazy. Anyway, alrighty then. Okay, so it's almost 10 o'clock and let us get started. As soon as that ticker goes to 10, we will start. It's a glorious day here today. It's cold. It's like, well, it's not cold. I mean, it's, I don't know how many degrees it is, 65 or it's getting close to 70, but it's crazy because it's supposed to be still summer. Anyway, okay, it's 10 o'clock. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Stamping here in Franklin, Massachusetts with me. And we are going to get started. Let me just pull this over so you can see. These are the cards that I had posted on my newsletter this week. And I'm really excited to share both of these with you. I think probably, well, this one, first of all, is a note card. And I love this paper. This is called Everyday Happiness. And it's just so pretty. I love the colors. It's Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, Wild Wheat, basic gray granite. And I put it on a basic beige background. And I actually looked online and I did get some inspiration from, I don't know who, but anyway, that's this card. And then on the inside, I put just a little strip of the DSP because it's a note card. Normally, I would have put a white layer in there, but I decided it's okay to write on basic beige. Anyway, that's that. And then this is this cute little snowman, little Frosty. I love this. This I did take from somebody on Facebook, but I can't find her name or his name. But anyway, let's get started. So if anybody is out there, please pop on and say hello to me so that I've got some peeps in my group this morning. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this card. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to alter it up a little bit because I love this design of paper. So I'm just going to change it up a little bit. We're going to change it up live right here, and we're going to see what we can create. So here is my base, which is basic beige. I love it. And I did the hot dog fold, but it's actually going to open sideways. I liked it. Every once in a while, I'll do this fold because I just like the way it looks. So that is my base. Then I took 3 pieces of the designer paper. Now, this is one of the sides and this is the other, but I'm going to use this one. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on this and plant it on the base, on my basic card here. Because this paper is so pretty. It's got, let me just show you some of these pieces that you've got in here. It's got a plaid in the blue. How pretty is that? And then look at that on this side. That's one of the pieces that we're going to use. And then look at this stripe. We've used this before for another card. And then look at this one. This side, the flip side of that. Hey, Terry. From the coast of Maine, thank you very much for popping in this morning, my friend. I bet it's chilly up there. It's chilly down here. It's crazy. It's not supposed to be this chilly this soon. But what can you do? It's Mother Nature who is in control, not us. All right, so let me just pop this on. I love this. I love this. Now, I know, Terry, this is probably going to be one of your favorite cards because you're not a blue person. You don't like blues. You like greens. Greens are your favorite. But you never know. You just never know. All right, so there's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this strip right on top of it. This little wild wheat, and it's got these little white stars on it. Subtle. I could do this side if I wanted. I could do that, but I'm not. I'm going to do this. So let's just see how this is going to look. And remember, I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. I have not made this card before. So this might come out as one that we have to revamp at some point. Or it might be one of those, ooh, I really do like this. All right, so let's put this on here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it, which is fine. That's good. Now I can tell that I've got to trim this a little bit off because it's not exactly 5.5 inches. It's a little bit more. So let me just trim this off. Yeah, I bet Maine is really beautiful today, and it's a little probably chippy nippy weather, but that's okay. You still put your toes in the ocean, right, Terry? Why not? I would. Okay, so there's that. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in all my cutouts. Now I did go ahead and pre-cut these out, but I just wanted to pull them in here and decide what we're going to do with them. I've got two different flowers, one in the peacock, one in Lost Lagoon. And I've got all of the petals in Lost Lagoon, and then I've got all these little tiny flowers. So I'm just going to stick that right there. And I think what I'm first going to do is I am going to put some of these, actually, I'm going to put these in. I'm going to kind of use the same idea. Yes, green, but blue can be pretty too. Yeah, same here, Terry, absolutely here. It's lovely, just a little cool, but it's going to get warmer, apparently. We're supposed to get up to 80, so that's not so bad. But I just don't want it to, I don't want the fall to come wicked fast. As if I have any control over that. Anyway, all right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive here on these beautiful petals. I love the way these are cut. So I'm just going to put that on like this, like that. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to bring in some of these. Hey, Barbara McDuffie, good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for joining in this morning on this lovely day in New England. I'm glad you're here. And let me just put this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here. And you can see, you probably can see there's a tiny little bit of adhesive sticking out, but I'm going to wait till I get all of these petals on, and then I'm going to take my adhesive remover and just very gently go over that area to get those little pieces removed so that we don't have any problems. All right, here we go. I'm going to put this one right next to it. These are the smaller ones. This is, oh, I should have told you, this is from, here it is. Whoops. Impressions of Bloom. This is the Impressions of Bloom stamp set that I used and the dies that go with it. Really pretty dies. So this is going to go, let me just bring in one of these. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it like right like that. All right, now what I'm going to do is, let's see. Which one are we going to use? Are we going to, oh, look at that. That's pretty. What do you think? That one or this one? No, I think the lighter one looks better. What do you think? I definitely think the lighter one looks better. And having said that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of these little leaves in here too, because I am going to use this. Yep, I'm going to do that. Yep, that and that. Okay, then maybe one more. Let's do another one. Although, you know how I am, the odd numbers, I might have to do another one. There we go, like that. And you know what, why not put one more on? Yeah, why not? There we go. All right, so this is this. Whoops, I got a little feather of a piece there. Before I forget, I want to tell everybody that Stampin' Up! Has decided that they are no longer going to be producing our watercolor markers. So let me tell you about that. First of all, I'm going to take my Winky and I'm just going to wink these guys up a little bit. Yeah, so there will be no more watercolor markers. They're going to go all with the alcohol base. So if you're interested in any of the watercolor markers, you please go to the website and pick what you want. I'm sure they will go fast. They are popping off the shelves because there are a lot of people who love the watercolor markers, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, they've decided that there is not enough interest to maintain that inventory. So we won't have those anymore. And the red rubber stamps are also fading into Stampin' Up! History, because we now are going to have all photopolymers. So they will continue to make the red rubber until their supply of red rubber is depleted. It's a supply issue. Apparently it's getting much harder to get that as a product. So that's why we're not going to have any red rubber stamps anymore. Having said that, let's move right along here. So just to remind you, if you're interested, definitely go to the website and get what you want. All right, so now I'm going to put this flower on, and I'm going to put lots and lots of dimensionals on it because I definitely want it to pop up nicely. And let's see. I think we'll put another one there, and I'm going to put one more here like that. Perfect. Okay, so let's get this on. And then, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to stamp out the center of this. So we're going to have to get that done. All right, so let's take this and put it right like there. Wait a minute, I want it actually, that's what I want. Let me just see. Yeah, I want it just like that. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to get a piece of, let me see. I think what we could do is use a piece of the Pretty Peacock for the center of this. So let me get a piece of this. Let me bring up my little Stampin' Cut machine here. And then I have to get out the little die cut. I love the red rubber stamps too, Terry. Actually, I like them both, but I do like the red rubber. I think you get a really beautiful image with that. But they're going to go to all of the photopolymers. So we'll adjust, and photopolymers are really great stamps too. They're also going to come in different packaging. A lot of the packaging is changing, which is good because it'll be easier to store your stamps. They're going to become in little thin envelopes. All right, let me get this. So if there's any red rubber that you want, now's the time to get those as well. All right, so this is going to be really pretty, I think. All right, yeah, I'm going to love the contrast on this. Yeah. So let me get this die over here because you know how I am with losing dies. We don't want to lose any of our dies. Gosh forbid that happens. So I will take a dimensional. I'm going to pop this on with a dimensional, which I pulled one off, pulled both pieces of paper off. All right, there's that. There we go. Now let me bring my card back in. Oh yeah, I'm going to really like this. I'm going to like that a lot. All right, so now I am going to take my Winky and I'm going to color this in. This Winky is losing its product here, but we've got enough. But what I am going to do is I am going to take my Crystal Effects, because you know how I love Crystal Effects too. And we're going to do this. Perfect. All right, that's good. Then I'm going to take, well, before I do that, I've got all of these cute little flowers that I'm going to put on. So I'm going to take my Tombow and I'm just going to put little tiny dabs. I've got, maybe we'll do 5 or 7. There's 3, 4, 5. All right, there's 5. Let's see what happens with 5. All right. So let me take my little take your pick tool. There's 1. Gosh, I love our tools. I truly love our tools. It's always nice to have great tools because you can, once you have great tools, the process is even more fun. All right, there. And then 1 more. Oh, I gotta flip this little guy over. And let's see how I like that. Oh, I think I like that. What do you think? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my, well, you know what? First of all, let me get some Winky on these guys. Very carefully, just a little bit. I'm moving this around. I don't mean to move it around. It hasn't really grabbed onto that adhesive yet, the Tombow, but there we go. Perfect. I love this paper. It's so pretty. It's just so pretty. Ugh. All right, so there's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Crystal Effects, and we know I have lots of Crystal Effects, and I'm going to put some in this center one, like this. I hope that we bring back Crystal Effects because I have a nice little stash, so people who come to my class, you know, have plenty that we can use. The issue is, though, you have to be careful because it takes a couple hours to really dry. But that's okay. That's fine. All right, so there's that. Then, to make that really shine, I'm going to take some of my iridescent ice, And I'm going to just pepper this, just like I'm doing some beef stew or something, or a nice fish chowder. That would be nice. A nice lobster chowder would be lovely today. Whew. Okay, so there's that. Now see, it, as I say every single week, there is, even though I haven't put adhesive around, there is some kind of magnetic chemistry that takes place between the iridescent ice and the paper. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. I absolutely love it. And then on the inside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this strip and I'm going to add it in here. But of course, silly me, I can't really turn it over because I've got the Crystal Effects and it will just glue itself to where it's not supposed to glue it. But I am very tricky and I can just put this in myself like that. There we go. Like such. Look at that. And then I'll just trim this extra little tiny piece right off. And there we have this card. Nice little note card. There's no need for, well, I could put a message on the outside if I wanted, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. Oh. And I'm going to do an envelope flap for this card as well. Okay, so there's my note card. Let's put this over to the side so this can get dried. Now let me bring in Frosty. Let me get this all removed here. I didn't even change my worksheet this morning because I was busy doing other things. We're getting ready for 2 big fairs. One huge fair at the Shriners Auditorium in Wilmington in the second week of November, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we got lots of things that we're doing. Thank you, Terry. Okay, here is my little Frosty. Look at that face. Isn't that the cutest? Let me show you how we're going to do this. So the first thing is we're going to take a piece of basic white, and I've already made the base 8.5 by 5.5, scored it, blah, blah, blah. You know all about that. Next thing is a piece of Balmy Blue cardstock, which I am going to put some adhesive on, and then we will anchor it to the base of the card like that. We're running out of adhesive here, I can tell, but I have another refill right in front of me. Okay, so there's this, and this is going to go on just like this. Yeah, so I've got one fair at a church in Acton, Mass, that I didn't even know that I had signed up. Well, I knew I signed up 1.5 years ago, but I completely forgot about it until I got the notice like last week or whenever saying, hello, you're going to be at our fair. So that's that. So anyway, then I took, hi, Jan. Good morning. Thanks for popping on all the way from Canada. So then I'm just working here. We're working on the little Frosty card. I'll show you the other ones when we finish this. So the next layer is using the Merriest Frames hybrid folder. And all I did for this was I took a piece 5 by 3.25, ran it through, and it comes out like this. So there is this. And this is going to go on now with adhesive. Oh, we ran out of this. So let's put the new refill in. This I saw on Pinterest, and like I said, I don't know who the person was. I did copy this like almost exactly as this person did. I don't know if it was a male or a female, but anyway, I thought it was wicked cute. Wicked, wicked cute. All right, so this is going to go on north, south, east, west, equidistant. Perfect, like this. Okay. How's the weather in Canada, Jan? It's nippy here today. Well, not really nippy, but it's just, for me, it's unseasonably cool, but it's no big deal. All right, so now you got here just in time. Well, we're glad you're with us. All right, so now let's bring in all these components to the little Frosty. So the first thing is I took a piece of cardstock that measures 2 1/8 by 3 7/8, I think it is. Let me just make sure that that measurement is correct. Yes, that's correct. So then this is going to be like the little frame that Frosty is going to sit on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I shall take my my Balmy Blue ink, and what did I do with it? Okay, here it is right here. and my blender pen, my blender brush, and we're going to add some pretty blue sky. So I am going to just take this and I'm going to start on my paper, not on my silicone pad, because that would stay and it would cause a mess at some point in time. So I'm just going to bring this in and give this some little color here. Starting on my paper and working it in just like that. Perfect. There we go. There we go. A few little wisps of clouds in there. Just a little bit here and there. Perfect. All right, now that's all. I don't have to do the entire bottom because we're going to take some shimmery white cardstock in a moment. And this little tiny piece, which is right here. And I just measured it so that it matches. It's 2 1/8. And then I just took a piece probably 2 inches, but then I tore it with my fingers so it kind of looks like it's mountainous or it's on a hill. This little Frosty's on a hill. So what I'm going to do now is just add some adhesive to this. Now I know on camera you can't really see the shimmery white, but you can when you're here working in my workshop or when you're at your own home working in your workshop. So that's going to go on just like this. Perfect. Like that. Perfect. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in Frosty. So what I did was I used the Snowman Magic set. Now I know this is retied. We have other snowmen available as well. But I used the dies that went along with this and cut everything out. So here's my little, his little silhouette. I've got his nose or her nose. I've got, well, it is a he. It's a he because I'm going to pretend he's a he. He's got a black tie, his hat, and his little arms. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to add his face in. I'm going to put his eyes in like right about here. One there and one there. And then I'm going to put his little mouth in. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, like that. Maybe another 1, 4, like that. Then I'm going to put little buttons here. Little coal buttons. And I'm going to kind of cattywampus them like this. How cute is that? All right, those are his buttons. His little buttons. Now I'm going to bring in my adhesive. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to put on his bow tie. And I'm going to just add a little bit of Tombow right here. And then I'm going to, let's see, shall I try and pick it up with my pick-me-up tool? No, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. Actually, it probably would have been better to put the adhesive on Frosty himself like this, but this is okay. All right, like this. Actually, I might have to add a little more mouth there. That's okay. Perfect. Then I'm going to put the nose in. Now, the nose is very large, so I'm going to cut this off a little tiny bit. Maybe just like this. Oh, that's still too big. Let's cut this down just a little bit more. Frosty. There. I think that's going to be better. Yeah. All right. So then I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right here. And I'm going to put this on here. This is a big nose. Well, you can't really see his mouth now. Oh, well, that's okay. Then I'm going to take his hat and I'm going to put the hat on with some snail. And then, oh, you know what I didn't do with the other card? I didn't take my adhesive remover like I said I was going to do and take off some of those little strips of adhesive. I'll have to look at that. Anyway, so now I'm going to take some silver glimmer paper and I'm just going to put a little band here. So what I will do here is I'm just going to put a little tiny strip of Tombow like that. That's plenty. And then I'm going to put this on. And cut this down a little bit more. like this. And then this is gonna go on. Now I know this takes a while to build, but you know what? That's like building a snowman in wintertime. So this card would be something that you would probably give to only those very special people who love Frosty. Or, you know what? You could do it however you want. You could make 100 of these if you wanted. Mass assembly works nicely. So let me get that on. Let me come over to this side and get this little piece snipped off, because you don't want that hanging over. Can you see that? Okay, there we go. Oh, poor, wait a minute. There we go. There we go. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop some dimensionals on him. And I think we will use, no, we're good with the big ones. Let's put these on. We definitely need quite a few of these because we want to, first of all, make sure that the hat is anchored to the body and that this is going to pop up nicely. Now, before I put anything here, I am going to put a little daub of Tombow on both sides because we have to get his cute little hands in here. So I'm going to put one here like this. Whoa! Get back over here, you silly little hand. There we go. That's going to work. And then, sometimes you have to use your pick-me-up tool. And then I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to angle it just a little bit. Yep, like this. And then I am going to put a dimensional on top of this. So again, it's all about anchoring, making sure that these little, you know what, this is a little bit big. So let's cut this in half. Hey, Beth, thank you for popping in, my Canadian friends. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take these little things off very carefully. And now I know that I probably should have put my panel on first, but that's all right. There are no mistakes, you know. You do it however you want. And this is what was possessing me at the moment. Oh my God, look at how cute. All right, so now I'm going to put there like this. Oh gosh, look at how cute that is. Look, 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 look. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to add some dimensionals to this side too. So this thing pops up. It just looks kind of framed, which I like because it's on this beautiful holly frame. And so there's that. And then I can see that I've got a little bit of trimming to do here. Just a tiny little smidge. Sometimes, you know, I'm measuring and for whatever reason it doesn't come out perfectly. But there, we fix it. And I'll take these off. And I don't know what I'm going to put on the inside yet, what message I'm going to put on the inside. I could go whimsical or I could go more sentimental and traditional, but I don't know. We'll see. I haven't decided. All right, so now let me bring in my card base, and I'm going to put this on, and it fits right nicely right inside that little frame. So it actually looks like this is framed like that. Now, I'm not quite done yet because I'm going to take some very pretty rhinestones, and I want to use the little ones, not the big ones. And I'm probably going to put 3 or 5 on. How cute will that be? So let me get these, and I will get my little pick tool, and we'll start putting these on. And then we're almost done. So let's put one there. Let's put another one. Whoop. We'll put it right there. That's fine. And then we'll put another one here. Well, maybe we will. There we go. There, 3 looks good. All right, now I'm going to bring in my Winky again. And even on top of the shimmery white paper, I'm going to put a little bit of Wink of Stella. And then I'm going to do the same thing on his hat, like that, and then on his little hands. and his bow tie and the carrot. There we go, like that. How cute is that? Oh my gosh. Now I know that what I probably should have done was put on the tie first and then all of the buttons and the nose, but it doesn't matter. So then I'm going to take my my Crystal Effects again, and I am going to give this little guy some brightness to his eyes and his coal. And then the last thing that I'm going to do, here's some right here, 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 and you know what I'm going to do. What's this very last thing that I'm going to do? Of course, I'm going to use some Dazzling Diamonds Iridescent Ice Glitter because I can. Look at that. Look at how cute that is. And there we have it. There is our cute little Frosty card. Cute or what? Adorable. And you can see the little shimmer. Yeah, see that shimmer? Look at how pretty that looks. It's so pretty. So, again, like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do on the inside, but that's the card. So, these are the cards that we're going to do for next week, Monday and Tuesday. And you will have your choice, actually, of which one you want to do for these. Let me pull these. Let me bring this back so you can see. Because I will have setups for both this one and for this one. This is the one we did today, and this is the one that I did on my newsletter. So we'll have those setups, and then, of course, we're going to have lots of Frosty ones. So that is it for this week, my friends. Now, I just want to reiterate, don't forget, Stampin' Up! Is phasing out red rubber stamps. So if there are things that you like in red rubber, you probably want to get those ordered as soon as possible, because once they're gone, they're not making them anymore. Again, it's a supply situation, and they're having trouble getting them, and they realize the price is going to be way, way more than what we've realized in the past. So that's why Stampin' Up! Is not going to be having red rubber stamps anymore. And the other thing they're phasing out are the our markers, our watercolor markers. So if watercolor markers are something that you love, then you absolutely need to get those ordered ASAP, because they'll sell out like hotcakes. I mean, I don't know where they are this morning. I didn't have a chance to check inventory listing, but if you're interested in those. Good morning, Colleen. Good morning. Thank you for popping in. Hope you get to see the replay. But it's lovely to have you. Anyway, that is it for this wonderful Friday morning, my friends. I hope you have a great, fantastic weekend. It's going to be real busy for me this weekend. I have a grandniece's birthday, and then on Sunday I have a full day of working with my friends Jen and Steph, who are my co-patriots in in our process for the fair at the Congregational Church in Acton on November 1st, and then at the Wilmington, at the Shriners Auditorium in Wilmington 2 weeks later. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a huge, huge, huge fair. So we're working like crazy little elves right now. We've got 32 projects, and we're making 100 of each project, the three of us, 100 of each project. So we're busy little elves. Okay, my friends, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your support. Namaste.